Writing a college essay can be a daunting task, especially when faced with a common topic that many other applicants have to address or that you feel is just a little boring or overused. However, having a common topic does not mean we have to have a common or generic essay. With the right approach, your student can make their essay stand out among the crowd and really showcase their unique voice. So if you're helping them figure out how to write a good essay, I've got you covered. Now make sure you hit subscribe because every week we have a new strategy to help your family work towards a debt-free degree. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System and Debt-Free Degree Lab, where we redefine paying for college to help families build strong financial futures rather than ones where we're paying on student loan debt for decades to come. Now, scholarships are our bread and butter. In fact, our families have secured well over $13 million to date. So we have seen a lot of different essay prompts and a lot of different essays, both amazing and needing some improvement. So let's dive in. One of the most important steps for you and your student when working on an essay for scholarships or admissions is understanding the prompt. Common topics might be what do you want to be and why, or name experiences that where you've overcome a challenging experience, or why this school, why this college. Questions that we hear a lot. Either way, a lot of students like to reuse essays, and it can pigeonhole them into a essay that doesn't necessarily answer the prompt, or sometimes they kind of get carried away and don't really answer the question. This we see more often than you would think. So talking through the prompt with your student and just going surface level with them about how they're going to answer it will help make sure that they're actually answering the prompt. We have a whole essay writing playlist where I actually cover some of the most common prompts and how to answer them. So we'll link to that in the description. Second is to reflect on personal experience. Even common topics can be personalized, and if you're a parent helping a student, this can be a great conversation you can have with them. Reflect on their personal experiences and how it ties to the prompt, and really finding that unique story they can tell. Stories will always be more memorable and leave a greater impression on a judge. By the way, this is exactly why we do not want to use AI for writing our essays. They do not know your students' life experiences. Another thing with this is choosing a experience that genuinely means something to them. It will just ignite them when they're writing about it rather than something that's plain and boring or not exciting. That can lead to that generic essay. Some questions to help them think of ideas. Maybe what specific experience can you share that aligns with this topic? How did that experience impact you and how can it help your career? What lessons did you learn and how do you share that in the essay? Third is to develop a unique angle. Once you and your student have chosen the experience they want to focus on, then we want to think about how to present it in a way that is really different from other applicants. For example, one thing that we saw with COVID was everyone was talking about how COVID made them stay at home and they lost all their activities and their senior year, or the essays just really tended to blend together. So we have to think about what do we think other people would be saying to this and how can we do something different? Again, we always recommend starting with a personal story because the chances of someone else having that exact same story outside of COVID is pretty slim. With that story, you and your student, you should try to focus on something very specific, not just a generic overview of an experience in their life. We also want to try to use vivid, descriptive language when writing it. And that perfectly goes into number 4, and that is to be authentic. Authenticity is crucial. Admissions officers, scholarship committees, they can easily spot essays that are exaggerated or don't ring true or are written by a parent. We want your student to be honest about their experience and their feelings. So having that conversation with them can really pull that out. We also want them to be authentic with their voice. So we want to keep it professional, yes, but we can be a little bit creative and have a little bit of fun with it. Writing conversationally can help here, avoiding cliches or overused phrases, and focusing on our own story. This can all lead to authenticity. Number 5 is so important, and this is something we talk about a ton in the Scholarship System online course, and that is to show, don't tell, which also goes back to telling a story. For your student, instead of them saying, I'm determined or I'm compassionate, have them show it. Give a story, a quick little example of where they actually exemplified those characteristics. Maybe they want to prove that they care about someone. So talk to them about, well, where are some times that you've done something selfless in order to take care of someone else or in order to help someone else. Number 6 is to create a conclusion. This should tie everything together and leave a lasting impression. It can also signify, hey, I answered the essay prompt. Reflecting on what they took from this experience and how it's going to help them in college and beyond is a great conclusion. But again, if we can rephrase the prompt in a creative way, it can make sure that we actually answered the question. It can also leave the reader with a memorable final thought. Lastly is editing and revising. A polished essay is essential, and every time that we reuse an essay, you want to make sure that you are proofreading it for your student or that they're having a professor or a teacher proofread. Every tweak needs to be double checked, but that said, if we're initially writing an essay, we want to make sure that that first draft really gets a in-depth review. We want to look for clarity, coherence, conciseness, grammatical errors, typos. A fun way that we actually find errors, and in fact, actually, we are releasing a second edition of the scholarship system soon, and I actually read it out loud myself for the audiobook, and by doing so, even I found typos. So this is a tip that we always tell our students in the scholarship system is to read an essay out loud or read it to our parent and see if the parent can guess the essay prompt. Now that said, I do have a free training where I cover lots of tips around securing scholarships for college. So if you want to attend that, if you want to see where we find legitimate scholarships and also learn some other tips around the process, then go to thescholarshipsystem.com/free webinar. And if you want a free copy, potentially, we are giving out lots of them of the new second edition. You can go to thescholarshipsystem.com/book VIP and get on that list. Now, comment below, what generic topic are you and your student working on? Let me know below, and if it's one that I haven't covered, I might just release a video on it. Okay, so that said, just remember a generic common topic doesn't mean that your student has to submit a generic common essay. We can still be unique, we can still stand out, and we can still be memorable, which means that we can possibly win money. Make sure you hit subscribe. I have a new video every week, and I'll see you there.